All right. So, hi everyone. Welcome to Limitless and Inspiring Filipino Entrepreneurs. My name is Julian. I'll be your host for Limitless and Inspiring Filipino Entrepreneurs, where we basically ang objective natin is to be able to really empower Filipino entrepreneurs. And what is one of the best ways to empower Filipino entrepreneurs is when we start seeing other limitless and inspiring Filipino entrepreneurs. So really, we will have interviews here of people whom I personally believe, or putting recommendations ninyo, of people who are entrepreneurs na Filipino, who are really, who inspire us, who can inspire us to really be limitless, face whatever's stopping us, whatever our fears are, and really go after what we want. Because on a personal level, I really want to be able to to empower entrepreneurs to really get yourself out there and support people and help people and help the people you're meant to help. So that's really the goal of this group or content or whatever. So there are three ways to catch us. There are three ways to catch limitless and inspiring Filipino entrepreneurs. Number one is to join the Facebook group. Hanapin nyo lang, Limitless and Inspiring Filipino Entrepreneurs. You can join that. Number two is that you subscribe to the Breakthrough Podcast. Meron tayo on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. So make sure to like the subscribe button and everything. And if you're liking this, no, so you can also catch the podcast content there. But if you're liking this, please do leave us a review. That would be super cool. Then finally, on YouTube, by following Dream Nation, we will be uploading the interviews there as well. But no one's stopping you from doing all three naman. Diba? So yeah, so you can catch us there. And yeah, I guess for this first interview, we will be interviewing none other than me. I was interviewed a couple of weeks ago, and I felt like what I shared there is a good starting point to help out other Filipino entrepreneurs and everything. No, so so we'll start with that, and I hope you enjoy it. I hope you get something out of it. And yeah, in the next coming weeks, please do expect more interviews coming in. So may mga request kayo, just let us know. But yeah, but that's the intention of this group, this video series, this interview, and I hope you enjoy it. So join all three. Join the group, subscribe to the podcast, and join us sa YouTube. Yeah. So without further ado, no, I'm happy to share with you the interview I did with the freelance movement community. Well, it's a community of freelancers, self-employed entrepreneurs who are, looking for support. And I was blessed to be interviewed there about my journey and what's been working for me. And I believe that it can help you too. All right. So enjoy the interview and I'll see you around. All right. Yan.
Hey, Coach.
Hey, bro. What's up? Yeah.
Ayos na ayos ah.
Siyempre. Kasi may
Yun.
ligo ako eh.
Good. Siyempre nga naman kasi medyo marami tayong audience tonight.
Yeah.
Pero first of all, Coach, thank you for allowing us to interview you this evening. I hope wala namang nakaplano. Next week pa Valentine's, no?
Oh, next week. Sunday naman eh. So, right.
Yun. How was your weekend, Coach? How do you normally spend your weekends, by the way?
I would normally chill lang with the family and all, but it was a busy week. It was a busy weekend then. It was fun busy. Para sumakto lang din na had a lot of calls on Saturday morning.
Yep.
Had a support call for a workshop nung Saturday, tapos I had a private workshop yesterday. So parang nagulat lang ako na biglang napuno yung weekend ko. Normally chill lang siya, pero just parang I'm grateful. It's not
Pero I remember you telling me one time before na you don't really plan out your weeks and days talaga, no? Parang as they come, you kind of just sort them out as they come, yung mga commitments mo.
So like yung workshop yesterday, which was a 6-hour workshop, this time last week hindi pa nakaset yun eh. Parang may nag-text na, so mag-workshop ng Sunday, okay. Ganun lang. Yeah. So I remember you asking me that, yung may routine ba ako or nothing. Actually wala. I just kung anong dumating.
Just wing it.
Yeah.
Just wing it. Anyway, I know as well, hindi naman bago, but you had your second baby last year, tama ba?
Yeah.
How's that going for you, Coach?
Kasi naman, it's a different adventure than when we had our first child. Tapos ngayon, mas initially with our daughter ngayon, mas chill and everything. But the different thing that we're dealing with now, apart from of course the pandemic and all, is now we have 2 kids. Ay, iba palang ball game 'yon. na
Oh, yeah.
may dalawa na hinahandle, meron mga jealousy, ganun. So yun, so we're navigating through that. It's
Yeah,
all
we're
fun.
we're kind of on the same boat, coach, kasi we had
Oh,
our second baby in April as well.
yan.
So, ang struggle ko ngayon yung medyo puyat-puyat kasi we're the first baby. We never had any issues with her waking up in the middle of the evening.
Mhm.
Pero itong second namin, for some reason, she wakes up at like 2 a.m. and doesn't
Gising na
sleep
siya.
until 5.
Ah.
So, ewan ko, gulong-gulo talaga. I don't know if people notice that, but especially lately, parang at the start of the year, parang biglang nagbago yung schedule niya, and so I'm thrown off.
Mhm.
Ewan ko ba. Anyway, it's always fun, di ba?
Yeah.
It's a fun time to have, medyo challenging, but at the same time, it's a super parang fulfilling thing to have, kids. I know, syempre we won't judge people naman. I'm sure people have their own things that they want. But
Mhm.
I guess for you and me, that's the big
Mm.
thing.
Yeah. Masaya lang.
Good.
It gives purpose and reason to what we do, at least for myself.
Yeah, exactly. Anyway, Coach, I'm sure you're all aware naman na for this evening we're gonna talk about not so much yung Facebook ads, which is your forte, but we're gonna talk more about the journey that you had to take.
Mhm.
The long journey. I know that kasi pinag-usapan na natin to before. But I'm sure a lot of the people in the community, the free community that we have, are probably going to be able to relate to what happened to you. And of course, there's other challenges that you had to face na medyo unique sa'yo
Mhm.
because of certain situations in the past. Pero we're also going to dive into some of the more recent yung mga pangyayari nga, no, including the pandemic, how you managed to navigate through that. And I'm gonna throw in some good questions for you and see what your thoughts are gonna be on those things. So
Sure.
let me know if you're ready, Coach. We're gonna jump right into
Yeah,
the
of
first question
course.
natin.
So I
Cool.
just want to
Right.
say hi to everyone watching. So thank you.
Oh yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Yan.
So thank you.
And by the
Game.
way, I told people who are watching that if they have a question or two, typically I get one or two questions from the viewers. It has to be interesting enough, guys. Ha?
Mhm.
Hindi yung tipong sobrang ano ha. We want to make this interesting. So if you have really good questions you want to throw at Coach Julian, let us know. I might pick one or two, and we'll go ahead and ask him that. But anyway, Coach Julian,
Yeah.
let us know muna how this all started for you. I know you had a very different background.
Mhm.
In fact, nabanggit mo before, it wasn't you weren't really inclined to do freelance work talaga.
Mhm.
What were you doing before this whole freelance thing?
I was an employee. I was in the hotel. I graduated hotel restaurant management.
Mhm.
Tapos I was working as a reservation supervisor for a local hotel chain. In my position, technically, hindi kami under sales and marketing. Kami yung
Yep.
kinakausap mo sa phone pag magbo-book ka ng room with us. So you'd think na sales and marketing position siya, pero hindi. Kasi I really didn't like selling or marketing. So parang kung ako yung makakausap mo, tatanong mo kung may available bang room, sasabihin ko yung rate. Kung ayaw mo, hindi mo makikipag-negotiate sa'yo. Sabihin ko, sorry. Ganun na lang, parang ganun. I really didn't like selling.
Mhm.
And I just, super introvert. Parang ayoko yung mga front-facing like sa hotel, di ba? Like, front desk and anything. I was comfortable where I was, taking phone calls, emails, taking to my own cubicle. And then, yun yung background ko. Just really, for 3 years
Mhm.
behind the computer, in the backstages.
Yeah. Right. And during those times, did you have any inkling, kumbaga, na there would be a kind of a twist in your life na you would end up, really starting your own business as a freelancer? Or parang was there a pattern that you were trying to follow, or typical na graduate ng college, you get a good job, etc. mga ganun?
Very typical. I didn't have parang I parang I had this image na kung mag-business ako, it would be because sobrang yaman ko na or dapat nanalo ako ng loto para makapag-business ako. And if ever mag-business ako, ang kaya ko lang gawin na business is like a bar and a restaurant. And I wanted to until now, plano ko pa rin naman magtayo ng bar. But if you were to ask me then what was my parang anong career plan mo, anong balak mo? I
Mhm.
would just always say ano nga ba? Parang I would just say something like, siguro, hopefully in the future, maging director ng revenue management kasi yun yung track nung where I was,
Yeah.
reservations, and then, tapos parang tatanong sa akin, ayaw mo ba ng iba? Parang ako, inisip ko, hindi ba, nag-graduate ako HRM eh.
Yeah.
Bakit pa ako maghahanap ng iba? Ito yung track ko eh. That was my
Mhm.
thinking then. So like the idea of a business freelancing was definitely not something in the cards. It wasn't even in the horizon for me. Hindi ko siya naisip
Right.
na possibility siya.
Yeah. Curious ako, coach, in your family growing up, were there people who kind of went into business kahit hindi freelancing, or yung talagang nag-break ng pattern and they went on their way kumbaga to establish something for themselves?
Yeah, yun. And family-wise, sa family ko wala talaga. And
Mhm.
even yung cousin ko was talking, we were talking one time, parang sabi namin, ano, as a family, wala nag-business sa mga parents namin. 10 silang magkakapatid. They all were very good at their careers.
Yep.
Parang yung usually professionals, may doctor, may lawyer, may ganyan. But none really started their own business. So we really didn't have any parang there was no talk about business or anything. So yung programming ko, if you was really employee. Yung talagang
Yeah. Yeah. And is that something that's kind of hard to overcome? And I'm talking more of yung mindset na, no, kasi I always say sa Pilipinas, it's a long, it's a decades of people, parents, grandparents, titos, setting the pattern for a lot of people. And I'm sure marami rin sa mga nanonood sa atin might have been in the same situation. Para sa'yo, was it hard, or was it a certain parang event that kind of maybe forced you, so to speak, to move into a different direction?
Yeah, it was when I was there, it wasn't hard kasi hindi ko naman siya na-experience. Parang hindi ko
Yep.
naisip na mag-business talaga. So it wasn't hard when I was there. It was hard na lang when I started to explore it. No, and why
Mm-hmm.
I ended up exploring entrepreneurship, freelancing was so I was in the hotel, reservations. So usap-usap lang email. 2015, I resigned from my job and I moved in with my wife who was an expat sa Malaysia. From Malaysia. And because I only had that one track in mind, the only option that I had, at least akala ko, only option was that I'd find a hotel job. Easy, di
Yeah.
ba? Yung gagawin ko. So I started applying sa hotels, ganyan. Ang problem was, no one wanted to hire me. The thing is, if someone were to hire me, the rule was, number one, I would need to apply for a work visa. And
Mm-hmm.
no one wanted to sponsor the work visa. The application was around 100,000 pesos that the
Oh,
company would not shoulder. So ako sa
right.
akin dapat manggagaling yon. And application pa lang yon, hindi pa sure na matatanggap. If
Mm-hmm.
I went through with the application, the potential employer who's going to hire me, kailangan ma-prove nila kay immigration that they couldn't find the talent
Yeah.
locally sa Malaysia. No offense ko if anyone was like in the hotel like me, pero yung job ko wasn't really a specialized one. Hindi siya parang like mga IT or engineer na very specialized na high
Mm-hmm.
in demand. My real skill set nun was just answering emails and answering the phone. So sinabi na nung employer sa akin diretso, may hirapan kami sabihin i-justify sa immigration kung bakit ka i-hire rather than internally inside of Malaysia. So eventually, I didn't know what to do. I just started to explore paano ba business and all.
Mm-hmm.
Yung friend ng wife ko, who was also an expat there from Germany, he suggested to me the book $100 Startup. And
Okay.
like with many books, I don't remember what was there. I don't remember kung ano yung laman ng book, but I remember what I started to feel. I
Mm-hmm.
started to feel shit, ganun lang pala. Ay, sorry, hindi ko lang pwede magbara. Pero,
Yeah, that's fine.
so, ganun lang pala. Parang you just have an idea, you just look for a problem, you don't need, kasi, yun, like, sorry, ang dami ko nang pinuntahan na. Pero going back to your question about
Mm-hmm.
growing up na walang business-minded person in the family, ang daming beliefs na hindi sinasadya na pass on sa akin. Like, mahirap mag-business, kailangan
Mm-hmm.
may puhunan ka, risky mag-business. Hindi naman siya sinasadya, pero those are what I got lang din.
Right.
So going into this, reading that book made me feel madali lang mag-business. Hindi ko kailangan ng malaking puhunan and everything. So I started to explore. In that book, again, I can't remember yung mga exact na nasa loob, but there was
Mm-hmm.
one story there about a person who simply went to businesses, gumawa lang siya ng one-page website, tapos yun na yung naging business niya. Sabi ko, okay
Mm-hmm.
to ah. So I went to my cousin who was starting his own. I messaged my cousin who was starting his own business, and then I said, uy, gusto mo bang gawang kita ng Facebook page or something?
Mhm.
Nung time na to, I kind of knew about Facebook ads, but I haven't tried it pa. Pati Google ads. Sabi ko, I want to explore this. Do you want me to explore it for your business? Umayag siya.
Mhm.
Yung best friend ng wife ko, he had a makeup business. I offered the same. No, and during this time, dami ko na ina-explore. I created my own parang food listings website in the island where we were. And then ginamit ko siya ng Facebook ads. So all these
Mhm.
businesses nilapitan ko to offer Facebook ads. And then realize ko nakakatulong ako sa kanila.
Yep.
And then I started to offer it to other people. Nag-Upwork ako. I used to have an Upwork account. Sumali ako. Upwork ako. Uy, okay to. May nag-hire sa akin. They started to learn more about Facebook ads. I was kind of blessed. I was blessed talaga na ang kumuha sa akin was an agency. Meaning
Mhm.
they had multiple clients. So looking back, I was definitely underpaid then. But I don't regret it kasi ang dami kong nakuha nun. And I would think na that's why I'm in my skill level now is because I worked with that agency. Kasi I didn't have to worry about getting clients during the
Yeah.
time. The agency would just throw clients at me. Yung business model pa nila, bato lang ng client sa akin, tapos bahala ka na. No, walang
Mhm.
support, walang very minimal support from them. So it was really nangangapa talaga ako. First few clients, nahirapan ako. No, tapos I just started learning and everything. And because it came from different industries, sabi ko, more than the tactics and everything, I learned to do yung ano talaga, yung fundamentals of marketing, understanding
Mhm.
of your offer, ganun ganon. So really the skill na practice ko siya. So even if it was medyo low compared to now, di ba? I'm very grateful for that opportunity.
Right.
And I guess what worked for me was, yeah, there were beliefs in me that made it hard for me to start the business.
Mhm.
But with any belief naman kasi, the way to get rid of them is to start breaking them down and to acknowledge that they are beliefs. And the way you do that is to see proof na parang, hindi ko kailangan ng puhunan. Diba? I saw it from the book,
Yeah.
I saw it from myself. Wala akong puhunan. Tapos I was able to do the business. Wala akong skill at that time. Like I mentioned earlier, I didn't know how to, I didn't know how to sell. I didn't like selling, but I learned.
Mhm.
I learned how to. So, belief lang na hindi ako magaling. It was just, siguro at the time, before, hindi pa ako magaling. But I guess what worked for me was asking, what do I do now? How can I get better now?
Yeah.
Parang ganun. No, so, yan. Ang dami ko sinabi, pero yan, that's
No, no, no. I
basically
love
it.
that. I love that. That's basically the parang origin story of how you really started sa Facebook ads.
Yeah.
I just wanna go back and mention nga yung pinag-usapan natin kanina na a lot of people kasi we're passed on some of the beliefs na meron yung mga magulang natin, di ba?
Mhm.
Um, specifically yung setting up ng business. Ako kasi there was nobody in our family as well. Pero I think it came more from the fact na siguro 10-15 years ago, it was kind of hard to set up a business.
Mhm.
Kasi yung hindi
Yeah.
naman yung internet wasn't exactly at the same state that it is right now.
Mhm.
Hindi naman ganun ka-prevalent yung so back then it was Friendster, 'di ba? Social media was more of parang a distraction, 'di
Yeah.
ba? We treated it as something na parang alam mo 'yon, novelty, nakakatuwa lang
Mhm.
siya, but nobody took it seriously. At least dito locally, I think nobody took it seriously kaagad. So we can't blame our parents as well.
Yeah.
They grew up in an environment where the only way we could have a business was to put up capital, think of a really good idea, and high risk talaga during that time,
Mhm.
imagine if you wanted to set up like a restaurant or something, you would bibili ka ng equipment, magrerenta ka ng place, and all of that. And that brings me to my second question sa inyo. Third question, sorry, coach. Right now, with the current state of yung internet, yung social media and all, how how easy is it now, palagay mo, for you to really set up a business?
Like for me, yan, you brought up very good points. And for ngayon, it's really easy. It's really easy. And it really depends on what you mean, what you understand, what everyone understands about starting a business.
Mm-hmm.
Um Kasi like ako nung time na yon, ang understanding ko about having a business is dapat may client ako.
Mm-hmm.
And it took so long for me to accept that I was an entrepreneur.
Yeah.
In fact, so nangyari,
I like this story, by the way. I heard this
ayun,
before, pero I like this story. Sige, go ahead, coach.
yan. So, nangyari noon was, so we were in Malaysia, tapos it was Friday night, chill kami, we went out with my wife and some her workmates. Tapos packed yung bar na iniinuman namin. So, um, tawag dito, there was a stranger, parang dalawa sila, tumabi sa amin, sabi, hey, can we sit down? Parang kasi wala silang mapuan. Sabi ko, sure, tumabi sa akin. Hindi ko siya pinapansin kasi introvert, ayaw ko siya kausapin. Pero siguro nahiya siya, kinausap niya ako, hey man, what do you do? Yan, in English niya ako. Sabi ko, I just stay home. Tapos, okay, sige, tapos Wednesday night and everything. The next day, Saturday morning, having breakfast with my wife, tapos parang sabi lang niya, Julian, I noticed something nung nag-usap tayo, nung kausap natin yung person na katabi mo. Sabi mo, you're doing nothing. You just stay at home. By the way, context, nung time na to, I was starting my business already. It's just wala pang bumibili. So sabi ko, well, kasi wala pa akong client wala pang bumibili. So nahiya pa ako sabihin na may business ako, na businessman ako. Tapos parang sinasabi niya na, ano ka ba, you're already a businessman, you're already an entrepreneur. Sige, wala kang client right now, but you are an entrepreneur. Tapos parang doon ako napaisip na parang, nga, no? Saan ba nang galing yung idea na kailangan ko magka-client para maging entrepreneur or business owner? And that conversation made a tremendous impact on me. Kasi what I immediately did after that was to open up my Facebook and changed my title to entrepreneur. And when I did that, I started telling myself, I'm an entrepreneur. Wala pa akong client, but I'm an entrepreneur. And coming from that identity, I started saying, what will I choose to do now? Kasi dati parang, hindi ako entrepreneur, dapat marami pang mangyari. So I wouldn't do the things that entrepreneurs are supposed to do.
Yep.
But when I started to embrace that yes, I am an entrepreneur, dun ko na talagang na-feel and na-internalize na, okay, entrepreneur ako. But more than that, it's also saying, as an entrepreneur, what will I choose to do now? I'll choose to grow my business. I'll choose to go out and prospect. I'll choose to door-to-door kung kailangan ko. Diba? And that really gave me motivation to really push. So yeah, I think that's one thing that really worked for me. Pero hindi na tanong mo, yung tanong mo. Ito, hilig ang daldal ko kasi.
No, I loved how you transitioned into that story. Pero before I go back and ask the same question para balikan natin, I just wanted to ask din dun sa sinabi mo na yun, just to follow up. So when you took on that identity, it was merely just a decision that you had to take, kumbaga, right?
It was just a choice.
Right. So basically, you just tell yourself, "Na this is who I am now. This is who I am, and I have to take on this identity, and therefore, I'll do the things that an entrepreneur does. I'll start acting like one. I'll start talking like one. I'll start communicating like one. And I'll start selling my offer, diba?
Yeah.
And pero for a lot of people, that's a big struggle, coach. Diba?
Yep.
I think ako personally, I think I went through a phase then na parang there was no belief in myself. Na parang, I'm gonna try this out. Parang ganun lang. Parang, subukan ko lang. Do you think that's a dangerous, hindi naman dangerous, do you think yung pagiging half-hearted mo with things is something that's preventing you from really succeeding or at least, progressing in something?
Ako, I believe that it is. Again, hindi siya dangerous, pero it inhibits us.
Yeah.
I think I shared dun in the same group, no, when we had a live before with Sina John, na parang there's this framework that a lot of us invisibly follow, na parang I need to have something in order to do something, and then I will be blank. But I need to have money, so for me to do all the things I want, and then I will be happy. Now I need to have clients so that I can do more prospecting, and then I will be confident, or I'll be an entrepreneur, or I'll be something. And we always put our identity in front of something external. Now we always want people to validate na magaling ka, and everything. And rather than owning it and taking it for yourself. Pero kasi yung thing is, so that I don't know if I don't know kung ano maging sagot mo dito. Pero just for me to ask you, did you smoke today?
No.
Did you smoke siguro in the past 72 hours?
Nope.
Why?
I just don't.
Because
it's a choice I've made for a long time ago.
Because what kind of person are you now?
I'm a non-smoker.
You're a non-smoker. Because our our results, our habits, our everything will always our results in life will always follow our behavior, our habits, and our behavior and our habits will always follow our identity.
Yeah.
Quite simply, kung nagyosi ka today, it's because you're a smoker. Kung
Mm-hmm.
hindi ka nagyosi, it's because you're a non-smoker. Yun siya. Diba? It will always follow your identity. So in this case, if my identity was being an entrepreneur, then I would was if I became an entrepreneur, if I believe that I was an entrepreneur, magpa-follow yung what would you do. Diba? Yung
Yeah.
framework is rather than the have do be, it's be do
Mm-hmm.
have. You choose to be an entrepreneur, so what will you do? And
Right.
the idea is when you do this, coming from that being, that's when you start to have. In my
Mm-hmm.
case, when I started to be the freelance, really own being a freelancer, really own being a Facebook ad strategist, and I started to do what a Facebook ad strategist would do. And then
Right.
that's when I started to have a Facebook ads business, a client, and everything. Rather than being this half-hearted person, if you be this half-hearted person, or if you be non-committed, no, if you're
Mm-hmm.
not committed, ano yung results, ano yung behavior na makuha mo. So it would always fall into identity. Now I know
Right.
some of the problem is like some commitment. That's a way of being, di ba? Being committed, you start to think na, hindi kasi ako committed na tao may mga ganyan. Diba? Even
Mm-hmm.
ako, hindi ako committed na tao Tas, example, yesterday hindi ako nagtrabaho, nag-Netflix na ako. Hindi talaga ako committed. But right now, diba? Yes, yesterday yun. But right
Yeah.
now, you can choose to be anyone you want. Yun yung maganda.
Mm-hmm.
That's the magic of life. You can choose to be anyone you want, regardless of who you were in the past. Let's say in the past 30 years of my life, I've not been responsible or I've not been
Mm-hmm.
committed. Nasa past na yun. The truth is the past doesn't exist right now. Diba? Right now, it's only now. Even the future doesn't exist right now. There's only right
Yep.
now and who you choose to be right now. So, yeah, I know it's hard, no, because we always like clinging on to the past kasi nangyari siya
Mm-hmm.
before. But the truth is the past doesn't exist and you can choose to be who you want to be. You can choose to be a 7-figure freelancer. You can choose to be a committed freelancer, responsible freelancer, a limitless freelancer. And you'll be surprised that when you embrace that, kung ano lalabas sa'yo na what will you choose to do ngayon coming
Mm-hmm.
from that identity. And you'll be surprised at the different things that you'll start to have differently.
Yeah. I love it. I love it. I just want to repeat what Coach Julian said. Instead of ano yun, ano yun, have, do,
Have
and
to be.
have, do, be, you flip that and you say be, do, have.
Have.
Right.
Normally what we do is normally what we say, diba, pag let's say you want a 7-figure business, you start to think, what do I need to do? What do I need to do to get this 7-figure business?
Mm-hmm.
But how often do we ask ourselves, who do I need to be to
Right.
get this 7-figure business? So
Right.
that's something that has worked for me talaga, and I would like to share that.
Yeah.
Hindi siya original kay Robert Kiyosaki ko nakuha
Of
yon, and then
course.
with
I don't think there's anything that's entirely original talaga. I mean, that's also the mistake I made before na parang I thought that for me to take on an identity, I had to, put out like an entirely new, ano ba yun? Yung parang hindi pa to ginagawa before. But the thing is,
yeah,
everything's just recycled, kumbaga. You
yeah.
just have to express it in your own way. Anyway, I'll go back to my question before that.
Okay.
Sabi ko nga, no? Sige, Coach. With the
Ah,
current state that we have ng internet, I mean, just the infrastructure that's available right now sa Pilipinas,
mm,
the business model ng mga platforms, and the ever-increasing number of new platforms that are coming out, lalo na sa social. Karamihan kasi dyan tayo gumagalaw di ba?
mhm.
That's where people congregate. Gaano kadali? If you were to talk to someone, halimbawa mayroon tayong nasa community and their question was, Coach, ganun ba talaga? Madali ba talaga to? Is this something that I can really do? With the context of, yun nga, yung current state natin, what would you say to that person?
Yeah, I would say super dali. As in, to be honest, super dali niya. What I've been doing, and parang being upfront, the past 6 months, I've been doing a lot of new projects then, apart from just Facebook ads. And it
Mm-hmm.
really it's not even with the ease of entry with the social media. I mean, that helps.
Yep.
But really, for me, what I've seen is it's so easy to start a business kasi ang daming taong may problema.
Mm-hmm.
And it doesn't have to be like the deep-seated problem na hindi ako makamove on. It can be as simple as gusto kong kumain ng Thai food or gusto ko ng milk tea kaso walang milk tea na malapit dito sa
Yeah.
neighborhood. A lot of people are experiencing a lot of problems, big or small, and that's where businesses start. it i-add to that na lang na sobrang dali ngayon to just put up a Facebook page or just gather a group of people and say, hey, anong kailangan nyo? No, when the pandemic started, there was this one, and baka some of you have familiar stories. We have one neighbor here who started just asking, gumawa siya ng group chat ng neighbors. Na may started just asking, guys, anong mga gusto nyong pabili? And then and then for the past how many months, all he's been doing is just asking, guys, anong gusto nyo? Gusto nyo ng meat? O mahanap siya ng supplier ng meat. And then, of course, he gets a cut. Gusto nyo ng cake? Sige, maghanap ako ng supplier ng cake, bibili ako, pick upin nyo na lang sa unit ko. Now, and it's super easy with the number of people that we have, the number of people you can serve, plus the number of different platforms that are super easy to just connect with people. Kasi again, I guess that's the easiest thing. Kaya okay with social media. You can get to connect with as many people as you can. You don't even have to do ads. I know a lot. I know. Unfortunately, some businesses stopped during the pandemic. But what I've seen is yung mga nag-pivot, really focused on their target audience. Na parang kahit yung friend ko na caterer, okay, hindi na makakapag-catering, walang events. Diba? He could have just easily packed up. Pero sabi niya, what are people doing? What can I help with? Now, people miss each other. People are celebrating birthdays apart from each other. Sige, why don't we do a catering service and just have it delivered to everyone? Parang ganon. Yung ginawa ng friend ko. Diba? So yeah, for me, it's really easy. And if you're looking to get started and everything, really start with that. Start with a person that you want to help. You don't even have to have an offer kaagad. Just start by talking to them, hey, what do you need help with? Yun yung ginawa ng kapitbahay namin. Anong gusto nyo? Tapos ngayon may commission-based business na siya on just selling us stuff. Tapos kami pa yung nagsasabi sa kanya kung ano yung gusto namin. Diba?
Nice. And that speaks a lot to what we teach inside the community and inside the tribe as well.
Yeah.
And I want to lead to that conversation, Coach. Kasi you mentioned kanina na yun nga yung principle of be, do, have. Na you don't need to have the skills necessarily to begin. Sabi mo nga, you don't need to even have a product or an offer to begin a business. And in the context of freelancing, yun nga tinuturo sa atin sa loob ng tribe and in the community is that yung approach natin is more market-centric and problem-focused, kumbaga.
Yeah.
Hindi yung I'll upskill, I'll get as much skill as I can para marketable ako.
Yep.
Although it works naman, hindi ko naman sinasabi it's completely wrong. But why do you think that approach is a much better approach? Yung focusing on the market and being focused on the problems rather than acquiring skills and then later on trying to find people who will match that skill, kumbaga.
Kasi so I can speak to myself kasi yung nangyari sa akin was that, no, parang I got to practice and got good at Facebook ads. So that was one of my longest clients when I started. Pero nung 2017, a lot of things were happening, and long story short, I had to end with that client. So I didn't have to end; they fired me. And I was left with no clients kasi I didn't know how to market myself. I had the skills. Ito yung thing. I had the skills, and I could say, nung time na yon, if I were going around sa mga groups, I could say na I would still during that time I was still fairly ahead in terms of the skill level. But I really had a difficult time moving on from that client because I didn't know how to. So I would try to go and tell people how awesome I am, how great I am, ang galing ko. But it wouldn't connect. Nahirapan ako. And then, I started to join mga communities and everything. Tapos nung ko nakita yan sina John and talking about serving first, helping your market. And sabi ko, well, nothing's working for me now. Kahit na magaling ako sa ginagawa ko. Nothing's working for me now. Might as well try it. I had nothing to lose. Tapos I was surprised na I did the reaching out, I did the postings, a group, and then this one client approached me. Now, this one particular client, sobrang introvert ko. He asked me to meet him. Ayoko talaga. Nung time na yun, sobrang hindi pa ako sanay makipag-usap sa mga tao sa internet. Sabi ko pa sa asawa ko, scam yata to.
What year was this, Coach? What year was this?
2017.
Okay.
2017. Tapos parang, ako yung babayaran. Ako yung babayaran. Pero parang ako, sobrang hindi ako maniniwala na someone was willing to pay me. I think I offered ng 20,000. Tapos, almost willing to pay me kaagad. Tapos, hindi pa niya kami nag-meet or anything, hindi kami nag-call. So, parang sabi ko, tutuloy ba ako dito? Scam yata to. Pero sabi ko, hindi, let's just try something new. Si Serendra naman, so wala naman sigurong masama. So I went.
Yep.
And then I ended up meeting this client, and he was very happy. Again, going back to our point, the whole conversation was not so much about how I was good, but it
Yeah.
was how can I help you? The female, how can I help you? Possible ba to? Sabi niya,
Mm-hmm.
this is what I wanted to do. Sabi ko, yes, I can make that happen.
Yep.
Kahit anong time na hindi ko pa alam kung paano. Sabi ko, I'll make it happen. Of course, I figured it out along the way.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Tapos, ayun, tapos I was surprised that he paid me cash. Alright.
Mm-hmm.
So, doon ako talaga, okay talaga to. And you know what? That guy ended up being my longest client. Client ko pa rin siya hanggang ngayon. Even
Nice.
with the pandemic and everything, he still
Mm-hmm.
continues to be one of my clients. And it all came from putting the focus not on myself, not on my skills, but on how can I help you. And
Right.
even though at that time, nung muna kami magkausap, hindi ko pa alam kung paano yung pinapagawa niya.
Mm-hmm.
Sabi ko, I'll figure it out. And we did naman.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
Yeah. Speaking of, yung syempre, lagi ring sinasabi na, get a client and then try to figure things out uh,
mhm.
in the process. Pero maraming magsasabi kasi na parang, di ba, isn't that unethical? Now you're gonna tell a client na, yeah, I can help you, pero really, you don't have the skill set to help them yet.
Mhm.
What's your take on that?
For me, depends. Kasi like for me, I knew that I can figure it out.
Mm-hmm.
I knew that I had access to people who I can ask help from. I knew I had support from parang I knew I had support from from a lot of places, di ba?
Yeah.
I guess going back, no, for me in that particular scenario, siguro I could have handled that better.
Mm-hmm.
Now kasi sinasabi ko pag hindi ko kaya. Pero
Okay.
pero I don't know, I think I was just really focusing on possibility and
Mm-hmm.
not limitation. Kasi tingnan mo, nothing bad happened. I was able to help the client. If I completely didn't know how, I would have probably said no. If it was like a
Right.
web development something, I would have said no. Pero
Mm-hmm.
it was just a little technical in terms of ads na at that time hindi ko pa alam. Sabi
Yep.
ko, enroll ako sa mga different Facebook ads courses na to, may mga Facebook group. I know I can get support.
Mm-hmm.
And it was just doing that. Okay, when I did it, I tried to learn it on my own. I posted sa group, guys, this is what a client is asking me to do. Does any
Mm-hmm.
of you have any experience? So, it's really seeing the possibility rather than limitation. Kasi
Yeah.
when I start to think, kasi it's one thing to think na hindi ko kaya to, wag na lang, versus how can I make this possible? And you
Right.
start to ask how can I make this possible, dun mag-start lalabas yung ideas diba?
Yeah.
And when you don't prejudge ideas, hindi gagana to, and you just
Mm-mm-mm.
execute on them, you'll be surprised at what comes. At least ako, yun naman nangyari sa akin.
Yeah. So parang shifting the focus makes you ask the right questions moving
Mm,
forward.
yeah.
Diba? Instead of focusing on what I can't do, sabi mo nga, focus on the opportunity, and what's presented to you is an opportunity to learn it. So
Mm-mm.
the questions then change.
Mm-mm.
How do I figure this out rather than hindi ko kaya to, or I can't deliver the results for this client. I love that.
Yeah.
Marami na namang magko-quote niyang yung sinabi mo na yan dyan, coach. Another thing I wanted to ask you was, of course, along the way, which is nasa teaser nga natin, you had a lot of doubts as well. Marami ka ring ito yung prerequisite for me to be able to say na I can charge this much. What was that whole journey like for you? Matagal din di ba? From when did you start? 2016?
2015.
2015, okay.
Uh,
And then when did you start charging, like sabihin na nating premium in the tribe sense na parang $750 and above?
mhm.
Kailan ka nag-start na mag-charge ng mga ganong kalalaki na?
Mga patapos na yung 2017.
About 2 years.
About 2 years. I would
About
say
2 years.
start ng 2018. Yan.
Okay. And what did you have to go through during that time? Kasi sabi mo nga, marami kang kailangan, dapat ganito ako kagaling, dapat marami kang dapat, kumbaga.
Yeah, so parang yun, coming to what we said earlier, na parang I didn't really have any models to see na pwede. So parang I had all these ideas and beliefs na dapat dapat may puhunan, dapat
Yep.
magaling, dapat may portfolio and everything. So the journey in those 3 years was really building that. No, building that. Sabi ko, sige, mag-ano muna ako. I'll do it alone muna kasi ganun dapat, no? Or I'll do it
Yeah.
I'll do it na parang $5 an hour when I had a gig that noong 2017 na $5 an hour kasi ganun dapat muna
Mhm.
kasi naka NDA ako with the agency client, so I had to start from scratch and ganun. It was really difficult for me, and I think what I went through noon was I thought that it was normal.
Yep.
I thought that ganun everyone. I thought that everyone started like sabi ko sige I'll make this happen and everything. She didn't have anyone showing me otherwise.
Right.
And I think that's the value of what the tribe has done for me, or just joining communities wherein people shared
Mhm.
what happened to them, and people were just generous about this is what worked for me, it can work for you. Na parang nakita ko na yun yung nabe-break na sa akin na possible pala to, diba?
Yeah.
And it only takes one story to show you that something is possible. 'Di ba? For
Mhm.
example, nasanay ako na mga per hour dapat, or 30 parang agency would hire me 30,000 a month to handle like 10 campaigns and everything. Normal 'yon for me.
Mhm.
Sabi ko normal 'yon because I didn't have any other model. And then I would see sa sorry guys, I was able to close one Facebook ads clients at $2,000. Parang, uy,
Mhm.
possible yon. And it only takes one. If you see a story, and I don't mean to attack anyone, but if you see a story that shows you that something is possible, and part of you still doesn't believe that it's possible, diba? Parang siya yan, siya kasi yun, magaling siya,
Oo.
then
Oo.
it's no longer na tipong wala siya sa blind spot mo. You're choosing to believe na hindi totoo to, no?
Mhm.
And why you would want to do that, it's yeah, I for me, I don't know. But when you start to become aware that something is possible, yet you still choose to believe na hindi siya possible, it becomes a choice.
Yeah.
Choosing not to believe it. So for me, the value of it really was to see the possibilities.
Mhm.
That was one of the big things for me. I think it's one of my favorite words, a possibility. Kasi more than the tactics, tactics or techniques, kasi it's all there naman eh. It's
Mhm.
really seeing possibilities. That's what unlocked a lot of things for me. Parang
Right.
seeing pwede pala yun. May naka-close lang, walang portfolio. So hindi ko pala kailangan ng portfolio eh. Then I
Mm-mm.
started going after na walang portfolio. It only
Mm-mm.
takes one.
Yeah, I think for a lot of us, that was the case. I mean, I met you late or mid 2017, I think, in one of the
Hmm.
Blenders meetups, diba?
Yeah.
And a lot of us were amazed when, yun nga, when John started talking about the possibilities.
Mm-mm.
Na kasi tayo, we were so used to being in this box na parang, oh sige, freelancer ka sa Pilipinas, you have to comply with what everybody else is doing. You're gonna have to start low muna and build your portfolio para tumaas yung rate mo and all of that.
Yeah.
Nandoon ka eh. You were boxed in that parang this pattern that you needed to follow,
Mm-hmm.
that everybody else had to go through.
Yeah.
And so you felt okay kasi lahat naman tayo dadaan doon eh.
Ah.
'Di ba? Until somebody comes along and says, no, no, no. There's another way to do it.
Mm-mm.
We can break that pattern. And which leads me to my next question. How important is it to have a community? Although nasagot mo na ng konti, no?
Mm-hmm.
But for those who are watching, if they're already here sa loob ng community na to, what kind of value do they really get apart from yun nga, being shown possibilities? Ano pa yung mga sa tingin mo, what good do they get out of being a part of a community?
Yeah, so again, like I mentioned, really seeing possibilities and seeing the wins of other people. So it's easy naman. And I was here before na tipong makita ko ng win, tapos ang automatic ko is inggit.
Mm-hmm.
Parang bakit ganon?
Yeah.
Especially kung Facebook ads yan, parang ego sa akin yan, parang feeling ko ang galing-galing ko, pero bakit mas mataas nag-charge sa akin yung isang person. But eventually that shifted for me to really celebrate, to co-celebrate with the community when these people become when these people become my friends. I'm really happy for
Mm-hmm.
them. And they start to give advice as well. So what worked, diba? Parang you can choose to say, maingit ako or something. Or you
Yeah.
can, nag-share na ngayon tao, you can ask, how did you do it? Can I ask for your advice? No, I
Mm-hmm.
did that. I approach people like sina John, hey, can you help me out? Some advice and everything. So I think community is help you see possibilities, helps you get support.
Mm-hmm.
Pag kailangan mo, not just with the support na you can do it, ganun, which is important. But more of the support na even sa skills na
Right.
tipong
Like really showing you the way, kumbaga. Really,
hmm,
really pointing out na ito yan. Here's step 1, here's step 2, here's step 3, parang ganon.
Like for
Yeah.
example, ano, like ako I'm not an email person, pero sometimes 'di ba someone will post a question about email copywriting tapos boom ilalatag na ni John lahat
Yeah.
ng sagot and mga ganon. And having that community is really there to give you that support. And for me, for some communities, 'di ba, there's even that sense of support and love even when at least for myself, when I started out myself, that there is this community who will still see the good in me, still
Yeah.
see the greatness in me, and even when I can't see it for myself.
Yeah.
So that's really something. And at the end of the day, if not for all of this, it's just for fun. Just
Yeah.
being in a community just for the sheer joy of it.
Yeah.
Kasi for me, joy is a big thing. Joy is a big
Mm-hmm.
thing. I wouldn't do anything that I would be doing without joy. Parang enjoy ko na lang.
Right. Right.
It's how I
Right.
live my life.
Right. I was gonna say something, medyo nawala ako. But anyway, the other thing I wanted to add to that as well, kasi nga, sabi mo, towards the end, we're social beings. I mean, we need to interact with a lot of people or other people.
Yeah.
And there's this need for us to belong. So just the fact na nakikita mo na, oh, there's other people who are going through the same thing,
Yeah.
struggling with the same thing, kumbaga, that's a big boost for all of us. Ito na yung sasabihin ko pala,
Okay.
medyo I was so into our conversation, Coach, but I just want to go through our viewers right now.
Oo nga pala.
Dami na rin kasi nating comments, no?
Thank you, guys.
But yeah, they really like some of the things that you shared.
Thank you.
Owning that identity, figuring things out, shifting your focus and all of that. Pero I just wanted to say, yun nga, no, if you're not part of a community just yet, which I'm sure you already are kasi nandito na kayo. But if you have people who are, starting out, share to them na they need to be part of a community. It doesn't have to be the freelance community. They can join. Andami dyan. Andami.
Yep.
I don't want to say their names, pero andami. You don't need to be part of this community, but find a community where you can, find people to support you, cheer you on, etc.
Yep.
Pero I also want to say, for those of you who are enjoying our conversation dito ni Coach Julian and who are learning a lot from his experiences and his journey through his own experience, and you think that our community has been helping you a lot, at least sa pag-transition nyo, whether you're starting out in freelancing or you're trying to up your game sa freelancing. The tribe is still currently open, Coach. Gusto ko lang malaman nila. The tribe is currently open. We've been open since October. And if you guys think that being part of the tribe is something that's going to help you grow your freelance business even more, comment with the word tribe. Again, this is for those who are not yet part of the tribe. Guys, kung part na kayo, you don't have to comment. Okay? And those who will comment tribe and show interest in being part of the tribe will have one of our success managers reach out to you para kausapin kayo. We'll find out if it's a good idea for you to be a part of the tribe right now, and if we can provide the support that you need for your freelance journey.
Yeah.
Again, comment tribe down below dito sa comments natin. We'll make sure to have somebody reach out to you. Medyo marami tayong nanonood, Coach, ha? So mga 200 plus na rin tayo.
Nice. Thanks, guys.
Yan. Now going back dun sa pinag-uusapan natin. So we talked about some of the limiting beliefs yung sa'yo, no? Na maraming dapat, ganito, ganyan, ganyan. What's right now, Coach, how is it like for you? Syempre, iba yung freelancing during the first 3 years. Once you've shifted that focus, once you've had that paradigm shift, what did it become for you, itong freelancing?
For one, it became fun. Yun yung clear sa akin na hindi siya. I felt like when I was still working with the agency, again, I'm grateful for that, but it didn't feel as though I was having my own business. Per hour pa din ako. I had to report at specific hours to my client. Tapos yung tipong naka-hub staff pa ako, so dapat gumagalaw yung mouse ko,
Yeah.
and then so it still didn't feel like it, but when I started to change that perception na hey, I'm a freelancer. I have my own freelance business. When clients choose me, I also have the right to choose my clients, and so it became fun. It became fun for me. And I don't mean fun that tipong na lang ako, parang pabanjing-banjing na lang ako. It became fun while still being able to do what I am good at. No? And what eventually fell in love with. I think tapos, so yeah, it became fun. I started to do more. syempre, got more clients and everything. But I guess more than that, what what one of the biggest turning points for me was when this whole business became much bigger than me.
Mm-hmm.
And what I mean by that is, so I do the ads for the tribe, and it was the 1 year anniversary of the tribe. It was
Mm-hmm.
1 year anniversary. So we had a meeting. We had a meeting with Sina John, and I was ready to present the year marketing stats, no, sa ads kasi we're only running ads. Ito yung spend natin, ito yung cost, ito yung naging cost per acquisition natin and everything.
Mm-hmm.
Ready to present all that. And then si John, he I think started off the meeting by saying something like, before we get into the meeting, I want you guys to parang nakapaskil dun sa PowerPoint yung number of total enrollees sa tribe so far.
Mm-hmm.
Tapos parang he said something like, I want you guys to realize in this 1 year of how many people, of how many lives we've helped this past year. And nung sinabi niyan, it suddenly clicked for me that what I'm doing isn't just, running Facebook ads to make my to get my clients more sales. I
Yeah.
realized that I was in a position to actually make an impact, not just to my clients, but to other people. Na
Mm-hmm.
parang, I know, syempre si John has his own list and everything, but I know that I had a factor in that, I think 1,000 plus enrollees for that year. And
Mm-hmm.
parang, I would think na tipong, what if hindi ako nagrun ng ads? What if hindi
Yeah.
nag-ads for that? How many people would not have had that experience, would not have had their lives change, would not have had any shifts in their beliefs that would allow them to change their lives?
Yeah.
But what if I didn't choose to do it? And I started to realize that what I was doing was bigger than myself, that I was doing it out of purpose, that I was had the
Mm-hmm.
power to change lives with Facebook ads. And I was feeling very blessed. No? I was feeling very blessed. And that really empowered me to really do what I do more and really go out there na parang and see who else I can help. I started to work with doctors, and then I
Mm-hmm.
realized na pag mga-close yung doctor na maging mga close na yung doctor na client, that's someone getting better, someone feeling
Yeah.
better. And the sales that we reported, the number of sales, the number of conversions, it no longer became numbers na sales lang eh. It
Mm-hmm.
became people whose lives are potentially changing, and their family's life changing as well. Kasi
Right.
parang personal belief ko is that entrepreneurs are always here to solve a problem of people. And who knows na that problem might be super big na nung na-solve siya, they were able to go on and do a lot more things. Na parang
Yeah.
yet, yung problem lang is, gamitin natin tribe, yung problem lang is not knowing how to really make this freelancing thing work. But
Right.
because we were able to help out the tribe and everything, how many people have been helped. So that was really something na I knew that this was bigger than me, and I wanted
Mm-hmm.
to pursue it talaga. And kaya ngayon, yung driving force ko, and I'm not shy to say it, yung mission ko really is to empower 100,000 Filipino entrepreneurs, to
Mm-hmm.
empower other Filipinos by 2030. Now,
Right. Right.
do I know exactly how I'm going to do that? No, I don't know how exactly I'm going to do that, but that doesn't change my mission.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, hopefully in this particular live that you've been touched as well, and that actually ties into my mission. So please go and do empower other Filipinos then.
Yeah.
Yun lang.
I love it. I love it, coach. That yun nga, that transcends yung mga personal, mga aspirations natin of wanting to be an expert in something or wanting to be really good or known, 'di ba, for one thing. That really is kumbaga at the core of what we're trying to do is we're trying to change lives for people. Ganun din naman sa tribe. I'm sure a lot of the people who are in the community have already seen a lot of wins. Sa community pa nga lang eh.
Yeah.
They're not even part of the tribe yet, but because I'm proud to say that we've given so much value dun sa loob ng community that we've seen so many people na are getting wins left and right.
Yeah.
And that, kaya rin naman kami sa community team, we're so happy. And we love doing these. Ako, personally, I love doing these live interviews for
Yeah.
one. I get to, I get to talk to you guys, get to interview a lot of interesting personalities sa loob ng tribe, and not just in the tribe. I know for a fact, ikaw, coach, medyo malaki na rin yung network mo outside of the tribe as well. Because I know you did BNI as well.
Mm.
I saw you, parang may ad ka for Bounce Back, I think, a
Yeah.
few, did you do that as well? Tama ba?
Yeah, we did the live for
Nice.
that. Yeah.
So yun, and yun nga sasabihin ko at the start of the interview, during the pandemic, when the pandemic broke out, maraming businesses that, were forced to shift into digital.
Yeah.
Lalo na locally. I know for a fact, ikaw, coach, marami sa mga clients mo are local clients. Do you,
Yeah.
do you serve foreign clients, by the way, right now?
I still do.
Okay. Pero majority local.
Yeah.
Okay. And what is it like pag may nakakausap ka and sabi mo nga medyo it transcends yung mga pansarili mo ng goals, but when you talk to people na natutulungan mo locally, na yung feeling nila, yung negosyo nila hindi na magta-thrive dahil sa pandemic,
Mhm.
and then all of a sudden, they get in contact with you, you help them increase sales or whatever it is that needs to be done. How does it feel sa'yo? And what is it like, having those conversations with these people?
I'll be honest, it's super, super fulfilling. As in, as in. Of course, parang I'll be super proud, screenshot ko and everything.
Mm-hmm.
Pero yeah, I really love hearing the stories. I'll be honest, may time dati na may kinausap ako, discovery call, wanted to get me to do Facebook ads. And I asked, and part of the question I ask is, what would, if we reach your goals, what would it mean for you? Kasi I like asking that question. But I had this one client, ang sabi talaga niya, literal is, wala, tumaas na yung business. It won't change my life or anything.
Mm-hmm.
Sobrang walang for me lang at least, walang ng gana dun sa client na and everything. But really for people na I get to see why they want to do what they do, why they want to reach other people. Or even, it doesn't have to be the big why for like outside for other people. It could be just, I want to provide a good life for my family.
Right.
And when people get back to me and I see what I've been able to help them out with, iba yung hindi ko ma-share. It's very fulfilling, it's very happy. Like parang recently, I think one of the stories that I really like, very nitong January lang, someone told me na they got their biggest sales nung December, which was 300K. No, maybe for some, 300K, hindi ganun yun. Sa mga nag-Facebook ads, maybe usually mga millions yung revenue. But for this person, 300K was their breakthrough month. And by just selling 3 products, naka 300K sila. And you know what she has been able to do since then? She was able to resign from her job, and she was able to take care of her kids now and focus on their business. And can you imagine what that impact is like? Kasi medyo biased ako as a parent myself, but what impact would be like for the kids at home and for the business? There was another story. She attended one of our workshops, and then sinabi niya na when she was starting out, she was selling snacks. And then parang struggle na maka 20 snacks na benta per week. But because she implemented and everything, naging 100 snacks na per week, and after a few weeks, she was even able to hire a person. So can you imagine what that impact is like to that one person, where we're at a high in terms of employment? Tapos when people are getting laid off left and right, here's one business na makapag-hire pa. Diba? And yes, I know that this person was able to make it happen for herself, for this person. But of course, I can't, I also want to acknowledge myself na natutulong ako ng tao na to. And that feeling, ibang feeling talaga. Hindi ko siya like ma-word. Iba yung feeling na iba yung feeling definitely pag naka-receive ka ng money or salary. No? Kumbaga ko ito yon, ito siya. The seeing that your work impacts lives. Siguro pa-side kwento lang isa a bit.
Sige
dito ako natutuwa. Sa atin lang. Dito ako natutuwa. One of my earlier clients in early of 2018, they were just starting out as a MMA supplies business in Australia. So they're starting out, tapos parang they got me, tapos sige, let me help you out, ganon. And then, so I was checking out their content, and then there was this video series wherein they were featuring 2 young fighters ng MMA that they were training, parang sinasponsor nila. And then ang title pa nun was Road to UFC. So wala pang UFC. Hindi
Mhm.
mo nag-follow ng UFC. So kinakwento ko sa friend ko na MMA person and everything. Tapos parang okay, sige, hindi rin niya kilala and all. Pero alam niya na naging client ko. Later on, siguro this was, I don't even know the time na, siguro 2019 or even last year, 2020, bigla niya ako mini-message, Julian, sikat na, client mo pa rin ba si ganyan? Sabi ko,
Mhm.
bakit? Kasi yung fighters nila sikat na. Sabi ko, hindi ko sila kilala. Kilala ko nun was like si Anderson Silva, yung kilala ko yan.
Yeah.
Tapos bigla niya message niya ako, yung fighter nyo, tinalo si Anderson Silva. So
Mhm.
sa mga nag-MMA dyan, this fighter was Israel Adesanya, parang ganun. I don't even know. But apparently he's one of the big MMA people now. And parang I know na maraming factors that played into that, pero I can't help but thinking na that I, in a way, was part of it. Na
Right.
I ran ads for this company, yumaman sila, we're able to fund the of this person, and now siguro pangarap niya mag MMA, and now he's like one of the biggest person. So indirectly, I felt like part ako nun. So, iba yung feeling. Masaya. Kaya,
Yes. May bragging rights ka na parang,
kaya lang hinahanap kong word, bragging rights ka.
kaya ka nandiyan ngayon.
Uh,
It's partly because of me, di ba?
I helped.
Yun. Nice. I love the stories that you shared with us this evening, Coach. Pero as much as I would love to hear more stories from you, of course, we wanna just limit the time para you can spend time with your family as well.
Yeah.
Pero I'm super thankful for having you tonight. And I'm sure lahat din ng nanonood learned, not just a thing or two, but a lot of things from what you shared. And
Thank
sabi
you.
mo nga, if you're able to impact maybe 10, even just 5 people, and encourage them to pursue this career, and maybe change their lives through it,
Yeah.
then we've done our job tonight.
Yeah.
Kahit isa lang nga, di ba?
Yep.
We've done our job,
Definitely.
and that's something that to be proud of, kumbaga, moving forward. Just a quick reminder for everybody who's watching, whether you're watching this live or later sa replay natin, you can still comment tribe if you're still interested in learning more about how we work inside the tribe, and if you guys are gonna benefit from being part of it. We'll make sure to have. Actually, si Marnie is already reaching out to some of you who typed in tribe. She's gonna keep doing that. Everybody else is gonna keep doing that and reaching out to you as well. But yeah, thanks, Coach Julian. Always a
Thank
pleasure
you.
to talk to you. I hope soon magkita-kita naman tayo in person
Yeah.
para catch up naman after a long while.
Yeah.
But yeah, regards to the wife and the kids,
Yeah.
and thank you for gracing us. By the way, bago ko makalimutan, this week Thursday we're gonna have our regular AMA naman, yung Ask Me Anything. So we're gonna have a panel of I think 4 people again. Exciting to. One of which is gonna be Coach Neil Reichel, and the other one is one of our newest coach sa loob ng tribe, which is si Coach Thea Peralta.
Nice.
So, yan. Kaabang-abang yan, and they're gonna be answering questions for everybody. But until Thursday, we're gonna end tonight. And yeah, Coach, by the way, do you have anything you want to say before we end?
Yeah, thank you lang. So thank you, Ron. Thank you, John. Thank you everyone for watching. Ano lang, sorry, pinunod ko to kasi sometimes I have this feeling na gusto
Yeah.
ko lang i-share talaga. So gusto ko
Go.
i-share to with everyone watching. So I've been reading the comments. So thank you guys. If may mabibigyan ako advice for anyone that's you can do as soon as tonight. Here's what I recommend you do. Now, before you sleep, find a quiet place, close your eyes, and imagine what you want to have with your freelance business. Imagine your freelance business and imagine what you want to have. If it's money, if it's a house or anything, don't be ashamed of what you want. If that's what you want, then go lang. So imagine having that. And I want you to imagine what you're telling yourself pag na-achieve mo na siya. Na-achieve mo na siya. Na parang, Julian, ang galing mo. Don't be shy and saying that galing mo, you're amazing, you're powerful, you're whatever you want to say. Now just really feel that and tell yourself that and compliment yourself. And then start to change that from you are to I am. I am powerful, I am limitless, I am unstoppable, because that's where it will all start. Start to imagine who you would be if you had the things that you want. And then you start choosing to be that person today and tomorrow and every day. And I promise you, malaking magiging effect nan. So thank you for letting me put that in.
Awesome. Thank you, Coach. I'm gonna try that tonight.
Yeah.
It's been a while since I practiced yung mga ganun na I think it has to do with mindfulness and affirmations of things that you want in life. So
Yeah.
I'm gonna try to do that myself. But Once again, thank you. Thank you everyone for
Thank you.
watching. We're super happy na nakasama ninyo kami tonight, and we'll see you again on Thursday. Bye
Alright.
guys.
Bye-bye. Thank you.
All right, done with the
Alright.
live stream. Thanks,
Thanks,
coach.
bro. Thank you. Enjoy.
Salamat talaga.
Thank you
All
then.
right. Enjoy your
Recording nga
evening.
pa,
Bye.
pa-send.
Yeah, no problem. I
Thank
will.
you. Gamitin ko. Thank
All
you.
right.
Bye-bye.
Bye.